Well, the Iowa caucuses are exactly 3 months away, and perhaps no one's watching the calendar more closely than the man who won those caucuses in 2012. Former Republican Senator Rick Santorum was the top vote getter back then in Iowa, but now he's trailing a much more crowded field this time around. He now holds just 1% of the vote of likely GOP caucus voters. Senator Santorum says he is in the race until the end. He joins us now from that very important state. From Iowa, Senator, welcome.
Thank you, Shannon. Good to be with you.
Okay, listen, you like being the underdog. You've been in this position before. 4 years ago, you were at the back of the pack as well and came back and shocked a lot of people by, after the votes were finally tallied, taking the top spot in the Iowa caucuses. Can you do it in this field, which is much more crowded?
Yeah, look, I was been in Iowa the last few days, and the response has been terrific. We're reconnecting with people that supported us last time. That are many of them just trying to figure out who's going to be in this race, what the race is going to look like. Trying to look at all the candidates. Iowans take this responsibility very seriously. They're going to study all the candidates. When I won the Iowa caucuses 4 years ago, more than half the people who voted for me decided in the last 3 days of the race. So I'm not worried. Iowans take their time, they assess the candidates, and then they really do wait to decide to the very end. And so we're going to keep working here. And I feel very, very good that when they do the final assessment and decide who's the person who's got the qualifications, the track record, the experience, and trustworthiness that's going to go there and fight for what they say they're going to do and accomplish something, they're going to vote for me.
I know that you've actually added staff. You announced some more hiring in Iowa this week. I mean, is that a do or die state for you? If you don't finish in the top 1, 2, or 3 spots, where do you go from there?
Well, obviously, what I guess I would say to all the candidates, if they don't finish in the top 2 or 3 in Iowa or New Hampshire, the chances of you winning the nomination are, at least historically, close to zero. So the answer is for every candidate, they have to do well in one of these 2 states to continue on. And I think we're no different than that. We have a leg up, and the people of Iowa, assessed candidates 4 years ago against a tough field and a tough candidate, Mitt Romney, and we did very well. I think we're going to do the same thing once they go through the process that they're going through. Des Moines Register poll came out a few weeks ago and said that 88% of Iowan Republican caucus goers hadn't made up their mind. So we have a long way to go, and we're going to spend time here and get to know Iowans again and build that same team that we did last time.
Well, you have checked the box more than once on visiting every single county there, and I know that it's very much a grassroots operation for you there. And I know that you've talked about the fact that you say you're the only one in the entire remaining field who is not for amnesty in some way, shape, or form. I mean, obviously, the immigration message has been very hot. It seems it's worked for Donald Trump. He's talked very tough about what he would do. How is your plan different?
Well, I mean, there's talk tough, and then there's tough policies to back up the talk. And we've been very clear from the very beginning of the campaign, actually even before I announced. I laid out a very detailed plan on how we would take on the immigration issue. And I did so because, as you know, I announced from a factory floor in western Pennsylvania when I decided to run for president, and said the principal focus of this campaign is giving working men and women in this country, wage earners, the opportunity to get better paying jobs and see those wages go up. Not because of some government-imposed minimum wage, but more because wages are rising because there's not a flood of competition. We're bringing in, last year, 1.7 million immigrants into this country, both legally and illegally, almost all of whom are wage earners, almost all of whom are competing against American wages. And for the last 20 years, wages have been lower, wage growth has been lower than any other 20-year period. At the same time, we brought in 35 million new immigrants to this country, almost all of whom are low-wage workers. And so what I've said is we have to start, if we're going to be serious about, and I am, about doing something about helping the American worker, I'm going to talk about our manufacturing plan, which is going to make us the #1 manufacturer in the world. And I'm also going to talk about labor markets. We're not going to flood this country with low-skilled wage earners to compete against American workers.
All right, quickly, before we're out of time, I understand that your campaign will have a representative at this meeting talking about changes to future debates. Yeah. You've said, though, listen, it's not about tough questions. You think that anybody who's going to win this nomination is going to have to get used to being bashed and pushed around with tough questions. So what contributions, what changes would your campaign like to see?
Well, I think most campaigns now are starting to think, there's only 3 more debates scheduled. One is a week and a half from now. And then after that debate in a week and a half, there's 2 debates between now and February 1st. I mean, that's just absurd. I mean, the only way that in a big field like this you're going to get any idea of where the candidates are, particularly those who are not the top 2 or 3 that are covered extensively by the media, is to have a debate. And that's what's happened in the past. You saw a couple of candidates have a pretty good debate and be able to rise and now get more media attention. That's what debates do. And the RNC has artificially limited those debates. It's an injustice to the voters of this of the country. And I'm going to certainly push to have more debates between now and February 1st. Have those debates not be, 10 and 1 and 4 of the other or something like that. Have them evenly divided so we can have a reasonable number of people on the stage at the same time and have debates that give people the opportunity to lay out their positions and get to know a little bit more about them than the gotcha debates that we've seen here in the last couple.
All right. Senator, we'll see you out there on the trail. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. Appreciate it.